CEO of ACT Foundation, Osayi Alile, says more inter-organization collaborations and partnerships are crucial if Africa's non-profits are to address the development issues plaguing the continent. CNBC Africa's Kenneth Igbomo explored why Africa's non-profits must rethink their approach to address Africa's unique challenges.
I mean, it's necessary because the world is changing very fast. Of course, the issues that we're facing they're not going anywhere. So we have to think of more innovative ways to come up with solutions. And we have to just realize that regardless of what challenges we face, that we all have to work together and partnerships must occur, more collaborations. So we're thinking, how can we change our mindsets, how we have been doing things for the last few years, and then how do we push ourselves to the next level? And I feel that hopefully we'll be able to come up with such solutions today.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's impact we're talking about here, and more or less how that synergy between organizations can be adopted to get the outcomes that we so desire. I'd like you to speak to that, more or less, leaving that footprint of impact on the continent.
I mean, in terms of impact, of course, you know, when you say impact, we're not talking about numbers here. We're talking about the fact that you can measure what you're doing in any community anywhere in Africa. So for us, one of the things that we're thinking about is that how can we all work together? Because, you know, the problems we face, if you're in Gabon, you're in Nigeria, in South Africa, it's practically the same challenges in terms of health, enterprise, and all the different issues that we're facing. So, but if we work together, you find out that you go further. And the grants that people are getting now is not as much as they used to get. I mean, we know how the economy is doing, but the challenges are getting even bigger. So I'm asking people to come together, partner, collaborate, and work together to make sure that we address the issues that we are all facing.
Because it's really good to see non-profits come together and talk about strategizing for impact. And more or less, I would like to more or less assess how you see this playing out in terms of inter-organization collaboration and how to more or less skip the hurdles that could affect the development that you're trying to achieve.
Okay, in terms of development, I mean, for me personally, I've seen a lot of collaborations. We do have organizations that are working together, applied for grants together, and they're doing well. And we work with quite a few other NGOs as well. So those things must occur because you can't know everything. I mean, my strength is my strength, and my weakness is my weakness. So when I have a weakness, I have to find somebody else that I can work with. And I mean, we also saw it during the pandemic as well, where every NGO and social enterprise had to work together to get things done, and we as Africans had to take care of ourselves as Africans. So we're trying to make people understand that we can't wait for the outside world to solve our problems for us. We have to come up with those solutions that also fits the communities that we work in. I mean, even in Nigeria now, we know that the south is different from the north, the east. They're all different states. So we have to be very, very, in terms of very strategic about understanding the community and then coming up with solutions for them.
Because at the heart of all of this is funding, yes, and how to open up more avenues for funding and more innovative ideas. And I'd like to understand what the ACT Foundation is thinking around this. I mean,
in terms of funding, we've given funds to over now about 90 organizations around Africa. We're in 36 states of Nigeria doing programs. So, I mean, nobody's fund is enough. We keep on wanting to get more because when you go into the community, you see that the challenges are even more than you expected. Funding is not as easy as it was a few years ago, and that's because the economy is not doing too great. But I think more Africans are becoming more aware that we must do something, and we can't just sit. I mean, we've always done it, but in a more strategic manner, so that the impact can even go further.
Yeah, because it's 5 years now, and I'm trying to imagine how do you like this conversation to play out in another 5?
Wow. I mean, I'm thinking to myself, what do I want? Maybe more African countries. I mean, we're in 8 at the moment. We're in the 36 states of Nigeria, so maybe even more. But more impact and more collaborations between even the local NGOs and the international, for them coming in and then working with us in the communities to get this work done. But even getting more private sector involved. We can't say that we're trying to change the way the different countries or the states or communities are. And then the 3 tripod, which is the states, they don't work together. We all have to do these things together. And I think people are becoming more aware, and I'm hoping in the next 5 years you'll see more of those collaborations happening. And when we see them happening, you'll find out that the solutions will be faster.